Welcome to another edition of the Orlando Lions Den. This is Eddie Cruz. I am back, and I'll be hosting today. We had a big week. Orlando's rolling. Things are looking up. I'm excited to get going on this podcast and kind of get into it with the fellas. Today we have Mike Spillane. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Dude, I took a nap right before we started to record, and I fell asleep for like 30, 45 minutes. And I've just been trying to wake up while we're having our little talking and BS section before we get started. I'm excited to talk, and we're winning some games, man. I'm feeling pretty all right about that. So I'm happy.
That's good. Look at this guy this is nap. I don't know what that is since I had kids, naps.
Yeah, no. My dog laid with me. It was great. It's cool.
Jealous. Hey, Alex, how are you doing down there? Was it Fort Myers, Naples? Every week someone mixes it up, right?
I'm
gonna tattoo it on your wrist, guys. It's Naples, and we have a soccer team now. You'll know it next year. That's fine. I'm good. I'm a little sassy, as you can tell, but I'm good. I like the win. Not a great first half, but I love the second half, and I'm happy to have 3 wins in a row. I said it on Den After Dark, and I'll say it again, Eddie. I'll keep tweeting the GIF until it doesn't happen anymore. It's a win streak. It has happened before. Don't worry about it. Just let it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I want 5 in a row. 5 in a row. That's what I want going into the Leagues Cup, especially now with Messi's grapefruit ankle, but maybe we can joke about that later. So,
right. Well, the great Lou Brown, manager of the Cleveland Indians at the time, says we should put that video in there, Mike. If we had it, I should have prepared. Where he says, "We won a game, guys. We win 2. It's called a winning streak. Or we won a game, we won 2. If we win another one, it's called a winning streak. It has happened before, and here we are, man. We're literally making that happen. And after the way we started, the way this year went, 3 in a row feels like 10 in a row. So I'm real excited about that. But before we get started, we got to knock out these sponsors. We got McGibbon Realty. Check him out over there. You could scan the QR code. Chad's been a supporter of the Orlando City for quite a while. Local realtor. I've worked with Chad myself. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, there's a ton of realtors out there. Some of them just do it as a side gig, and some take it real serious as their profession. And Chad's definitely one of those guys. So make sure you reach out if you're trying to sell your house, buy a house. Make sure you get the best possible value out of your money. So reach out to an expert. And speaking of experts, Leo at Epic Mortgage. Hey, he helped me out. I took his advice, did a little refi a couple years ago when the rates were low, locked that in. Leo, really, really helped me out. I had to get some recent advice on something regarding equity. He gave me some sound advice, even if it didn't benefit him. So reach out to Leo. He knows his stuff, and he'll shoot you straight. The QR code's right there. Contact information is right there. Leon Gonzalez at the Epic Mortgage team. I personally used him as well several times, and it's been fantastic. He knows what he's doing. And then for insurance, reach out to me. At Comparing Insurance, that's Liberty Mutual's local office, or like a brokerage, and you guys have been great. We had several listeners reached out, and I've been able to help several of you folks. I'm gonna wait a little bit before I give the full donation to the Orlando City Foundation, but I'm doing $25 per quote, and last I checked, we're up to $175. So I'm waiting on another one to fall through, and then once it hits $200, I'll post it online too. But anytime you guys just do a quote, no matter what happens, I'm donating a little bit to the Orlando Lions, Orlando City Foundation. They're a great group. And then next one we have Hourglass Brewing, and No Mango No Party. Orlando Lions said No Mango No Party beer. I still have one in the fridge. And since we've done that watch party, what are we? 3 wins, 1 tie?
No, we're better than that. We've been
4.
We've been on a tear, man. We've been doing good since that watch party.
We felt so hopeless too. A 1-0 loss, just terrible goal allowed, just toothless. and we had a good time. But man, we were down that day, and since then, what's the record you said?
So we lost that day. Since then, we are 4-1-2.
Nice, that's fantastic, man.
And I also, before you go past that, I just want to shout out because my buddy Juan, who works there, is one of the guys who helped set us up with that. He actually just did a collaboration beer with them as well for their 5-year anniversary. So if you want to go try the beer that he created, it's called Buff Boy Juice. Definitely go check it out. It's a wheat beer that is made with mango, watermelon, and tahini.
Tahini?
Yeah, so it sounds interesting. So go try my boy's Buff Boy Juice, and that doesn't sound weird at all. My bad. So
no, it doesn't. You want to get buff? Get some Buff Boy Juice.
Yeah, phrasing. You know?
Hourglass Brewery. Like those people, they were class. They were great. They were leading chants. It's a cool venue, and they got all kinds of cool beers there. So definitely check it out. Even if they'll have matches, there won't be official match parties, but they have the matches on. You could talk to them. They'll put it on for you. And, it's just a good place if you want to watch away. But we're definitely going to try to hit them back up and maybe in a big match or playoffs or something, Mike, right? We'll make it happen again.
Hopefully.
Yeah, great time. We'll get food trucks. We'll do the whole thing again. We'll keep posted. We'll keep you guys posted. But all right, and we got that. Let's recap over here. New England Revolution. Nice, comfortable win after going down a goal. And that's the craziest thing is that's our first win at Foxboro. And we went down a goal. Dagger Dan fell asleep a little bit. Rodrigo fell asleep too. Like when you yawn, it's just contagious. Like Dagger is like, I'm going nights. Rodrigo's like, cool. I'm going to take a nap too. The same goal against Toronto, kind of diagonal over the top, headed it back, tap in. Nothing Pedro can do. 1-0. We didn't look real organized or energetic. New England, a lot of times we play off of the counter on the road, and New England seemed to set up correctly and just let us have the ball. And sometimes we're not great when we have the ball, and had no real teeth to the attack at first. And then boys fought back, and Faku, fantastic goal. What else? We have Faku with a brace. Right. And then, but
not a hat trick once again.
Not a hat trick. We're going on, 10 years without a hat trick. And Fagundo, the summer Faku is continuing. He's on a tear. Team of the week again. Little bender to the far post, and just fantastic job of finding space overall. And then Enrique Ramiro Enrique, I always mix them up. He either way works. He another knockdown header like last previous match, I believe. Alex Freeman headed it down. He finished it off. I think it was Cesar or someone got their head on a corner from Ojeda and or from Nico, I think, or Ojeda. Yeah, I think it was Ojeda. And then boom, Ramiro did a great job of just getting it through the goalie real quick, just popping up out of nowhere, Fox in the box. And that we really needed that goal. Really got us going. Once the game got a little more even and we took the lead, New England had to open it up, and that really helped us because we're really good in transition normally. And 3 goals for the good guys and a nice win. So, Mike, we'll start with you. What do you think about the victory?
For me, this victory, and you're right, it was Ojeda on the corner kick, and it was Araujo that knocked it down. I was just double checking because I know on the MLS app, as much as Cleon hates it, the MLS app does keep track of MLS assists. So it's got both names listed there.
Also, Ojeda got an assist for that? Yeah.
According to MLS, yes. Ojeda got an assist for that. But which means this is actually a game where all 3 of our designated players had a goal contribution technically.
Wow, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Muriel on a counterattack. He set up Faku perfectly for that little bender.
Yep. Yeah. Faku with 2 goals and then Ojeda with a fake assist. So, here we go. Look at us. Progress. This is big. But no, man, this was one of those ones where I was a little bit busy during the actual game itself. Mm-hmm. So I was watching loosely, and you guys know me. Like usually, I jokingly put out my first half thoughts, and I always spell it wrong at halftime every single game. And I was loosely watching because I had a previous engagement planned for Saturday night, and I just immediately just tweeted out as soon as halftime went. I was just like, first half thoughts, man. Like it was the first half was not a good. Wasn't a good half. And then there was a couple of quick changes that were made. The first change that came out was Kyle was taken off and Santos was brought on. And Santos is one of those players that I feel like he's kind of polarizing with our fan base. Because there's certain situations that he is super great in, and certain situations where he leaves a lot to be desired. But man, exactly. But man, this game here in particular, he was exactly what we needed. The adjustments were right in the second half, and we came out on fire. First goal ended up being unassisted to Facu just because the way that it got bounced around before it came down to his feet. But the thing with him
did a good job getting through.
He did. He did. Yeah. And I gave him my stock up last week, so I need to kind of calm down on my Angulo praise. I don't want to get myself sick by doing it too much because obviously I'm apparently a tier 1 hater when it comes to Angulo. But no, he's turning around well. He's been doing really good, and he's not being as wasteful. But the thing that I really want to speak to is just the confidence that we have with Facundo Torres right now. Like he is a player who is in form and he is confident. Like that second goal in particular, early in the season, he's taken a touch before he hits that.
Absolutely. Great point. Yeah.
He's taken a touch before he hits that. He's losing possession by trying to do too much with it. Player is confident and hitting on all cylinders right now. For him to just go ahead and one touch that, bend it into the corner. Keeper had no chance. Like, and it's one of those things. It's one of those things like looking at the replay, it looked like it was so simple. Like it was effortless for him to do that. That's the Facu that we all want to see for 34 games a season. That's the Facu that we're sitting here asking $20 million for if there's going to be a transfer for him. Like that's the Facu that we've kind of all been expecting. And he's here. Also, I want to shout out Evan Weston real quick because his radio call, I think it was Mickey Kennedy who had former social media person for Orlando City. He had actually tweeted out that it was an all-timer of a call on, I think it was the second goal for Facu, where he's like, pull out your lawn chairs, crack open a beer. The summer of Facu is here to stay, or something along the lines of that.
Nice.
And I was like, Evan, I wish I could listen to the away broadcast on the TV or the away radio broadcast on the TV. Apple needs to figure that out. But
right, for sure.
Hopefully next year. Year they can pull that off.
Or hopefully next year they just hire him because he deserves it. How about that? Yeah.
Same.
Wait, did he say the summer Facu's here to stay? He should have just said put on a lawn chair, or just the summer sock. It felt like John Raphael, where he just one more word, where it was rhyming, but he just added one more unnecessary word. You know what I'm talking about? Just,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Cue the video of John Raphael rapping. Yeah.
Well, no, I can't think of John Ralphio without either doing the worst line or him singing "Don't Be Suspicious" with the sister.
Right.
Don't be suspicious. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to sing.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, we
did learn that last week. Yeah.
No, seeing you and JJ. Wow. But you're right, Alex. And look, I think Facu is just, to me, one thing that's always been a strength is he's a good ball striker. The heat he gets on those penalties, the way there's those hard ground balls to the corners. But lately, with that top bins he had where he cut in like Robin, and bensed it, curling it. Now he's got this new tool, right? I mean, he just flipped that foot at it and just curled it like nice, like Henri kind of thing, and it was just not. You don't see that all the time. It reminded me of the Portugal versus Uruguay last World Cup. I was watching it with JJ in Atlanta. We went to Atlanta for the first time, and they had it one time to Edison Cavani, and he just like that, just curled it, far corner, far post, just on one touch. And just you got to wrap your foot around it. You have to hit it a certain way, and you have to have confidence in your technique to do that. And Facu could have taken a touch and probably still gotten it off, but he was like, "Man, bump this," So that's a great point, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, this is just, it's one of those ones that I feel like we just reacted so positively coming out of halftime.
Mhm.
Like, it was one of those things that the team
Right.
just knew, yeah, we were cheeks in that first half, and then when we came out, made the one easy adjustment, and everyone just stepped up. The first half of the season, the team wasn't doing that at all.
Right.
It was usually more likely the opposite. We might have had a decent first half, and then they just completely outcoached us in the second. I think we got some things right, and I'm feeling good.
Right.
And again,
Right.
like we said, first time we've ever won a game in Foxboro.
That's wild.
I
That's
think going
wild.
into this game, we were like 2-5 or 2-6 or something like that. I think we'd only gotten a draw twice. Everything else was losses.
That's crazy. Now
That's bad, man.
It is. It is. Now this match, one thing I've noticed a recent run is shots on target is just improving. We're just being a lot more clinical for a goal, right? We had 15 shots, 7 on target. Earlier in the season, we'd see 13, 15 shots, 2 on target, 1 on target, and the XG now 1.7 in this one. We got 3 goals because they were just good goals. And at halftime, I called that this should be Santos to come in because New England was sitting back a lot in the block. And then Smith didn't do anything wrong, or Smith's been fine. And he
wasn't
solid.
bad.
Yeah, Smith's always solid when he plays, but
Exactly.
he's not going to be an attacking fullback, especially on the left. A couple times they just literally were like waiting on him to cut. They just played him to go outside, and he just really didn't know what to do because it's weak foot. If you put Santos on the right, it'd be the same thing. It's not a critique on Hall Smith. It's just the game state wasn't a good fit. Credit to Oscar for realizing that. I said I hope at halftime I hope he put Santos on, and he did. And look at the third goal. Santos, he's got the ability to hit those long, direct balls and direct. It's something I always talk about. One of a key aspect of good teams is winning second balls. How you are out of possession to how you movement and your awareness, your instincts, your ability to react to situations in the game. And winning second balls is a testament to that. So the first one, he went to Muriel, didn't get it. The center back heads it back down, and I believe it's Araujo or someone wins it back to Muriel, lay off to Facu. Then that's how you get quick transitions. When you win it up high, you win second balls. People are out of position. There's space. You take advantage of that. So overall, I just thought I always harp on. Overall, I thought it was a good performance. DC sucks. New England sucks. But it's how you play against these teams. You have to beat who's in front of you, but not every. Yes, all points matter. All points are the same, but you want to see momentum. You want to see how the trajectory is looking, habits that are forming, trends, right? And you want to see what we're seeing now is a continuance of positive output, positive actions, confidence growing, goals happening, and all of that is how you build a good run and a winning streak. And that's what we saw. We saw a game where we deserved to win. We saw a game where we put in a good performance overall, and it wasn't lucky. It wasn't scruffy goals. It wasn't, grinding it out or suffer ball to hang on 1-0. It was a consecutive convincing win. So I'm real positive about that. So Alex, what was your takeaways?
I'll bounce off of you directly. The big thing I take away is, the Kyle Smith sub off. He didn't have a bad first half. It wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but putting Santos in was good energy. It was good tactics, and it gave the team a lot of oomph to be whatever about it. But the team looked better in the second half, and a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, what did Oscar say in the tunnel?" But the team came back. I'm not going to give this fully to Oscar. He made a good sub at halftime. That's a rare thing for him this season to make a sub at halftime, but we actually did something. We reacted. We didn't take a 1-0 lead at halftime and collapse on it and go for a 1-1 draw away. I would say we looked a little rusty with the offense in the first half, but to the same way, we're looking a lot better when it comes to coming off of good finishes. And Facundo, I love Facundo. I said on Den After Dark, I'm not sure if him being turned away was good or bad, but having him being turned away was good, but we need to see that more in the first half of the season. Doesn't matter at this point. We're talking about the first half of the season. We can't talk about that. Second half of the season, he looks great, and we'll take it.
Right. Yeah, no, this. I mean, he's carrying the team right now. Mike, do you have the numbers since the last few games since Ojeda's been playing 10, and how Ojeda and Facu? I know Matthew Dolly posted them.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what number we're necessarily looking for in general here,
But like goal contributions, kind of,
Yeah, so realistically, game against Chicago, we hadn't made the change yet. I think the first game that we made the change was it was the game against Toronto. So just the last 3 games, were 13 shots, followed by against DC, we had 24 shots and 2.3 XG, ended up scoring 5, but 23 shots, 9 on target, and then 14 shots, 7 on target. Like our XG is higher, our chances created are higher. We're getting more shots off, and like you said, the team itself is being more clinical. And that's just the last 3 games now that he's realistically, it's 4 games that he's been in the starting lineup, because he did start against NYCFC as well, but they still started Ladero in the midfield in that game. So I don't know if he necessarily was playing really that 10 role as much. But the team has just been, it's been substantially better. And it's one of those things that, Doyle made the reference in his column. It's amazing that this guy, who in his last season in Argentina was in the 96th percentile in chances created, is somehow creating all these chances for you guys when you play him in a chance creating position. And I'm looking at FootMob right now. He is in the 97th percentile in chance creation in the league right now amongst attacking midfielders and wingers.
Wow.
It's just one of those things that just, like, he puts players in good positions. And like some of that, realistically, you could attribute to the fact that some of his corner kicks and dead ball delivery is just so good. Like I've commented that Olympico is coming. Like he's getting closer every week.
You're going to get it one day.
At this point, I need to just go ahead and start putting, like, if Hard Rock had a thing to bet Martin Ojeda Olympico, I'd be putting $5 on it every game until it finally hits. But it's one of those things that, his chance creation is just excellent. And it's now at a point with this run of last 3 games in particular, you kind of just have to write down his name in ink at this point on the starting 11. Like, I just don't think it took, I think I said this on one of the Den After Darks. It only took us, I want to say it was 55 or 56 games for us to figure out how to play Ojeda and Facu on the field at the same time. But we finally found the way. So,
yeah.
Well, and I will say, one thing about getting DPs on the field, Enrique looked really good, and he played well and got his second goal coming back from whatever his injury or green card break was. But Luis,
hey, man got deported. We snuck him back in.
I was going to say Porque no los dos, but there we go.
Yeah, we had him crawl through the air vents,
Yeah. He is Argentinian after all. Yeah.
Oh, that was the Colombians that were doing that, allegedly. At least from the picture that I saw. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there. I just well, that's another story. We don't have to talk about that. Copa America was rough.
Yeah. Well, but Luis Muriel getting his goal contribution with that assist was reassuring, because he's not the striker that Orlando City fans are used to in getting those crashing into the box goals, but he's sitting back there and he's still contributing. And it's one of those things where I put in the group chat, what if we put him in with Enrique and see what happens, and see if the two of them and Facundo and Ojeda and maybe even Angulo can create something. And I don't think that's going to happen before the League's Cup break, but after it might be necessary. So it's just one of those things where I'm just happy to see Moriel contribute, happy to see him getting something done despite not getting those shots on goal, not getting those contributions inside the box.
Yeah, I think the thing I see the issue with that is right now, Angulo's pace, you'll lose that. And obviously, Oscar rates out a lot in his defensive work rate, and he takes Ojeda out of the place that's really been effective. Because what I was talking about it then after dark, which by the way, forgot to mention, that then check out our feed on whatever your favorite podcast platform is, and we're dropping a Den After Dark on the podcast feed, so you can tune in. We'd love you for you to join. We do it on Twitter Spaces, live reaction after the game. Mike usually hosts it. You get it's raw, unadulterated. Everyone could talk however they want, say whatever they want to say, and everyone you can just request to speak. So it's not just like it's on a podcast. It's just reaction from the actual fans. So it's a good time. If you haven't heard it, tune in, and if you want to get on, just go to Twitter Spaces and join in, send us a little request to speak, and we'll put you on. So,
we're doing our best to get them on the spot or on the podcast feed. Sometimes the downloading of them does not go well. So
yeah, well, we're trying. The point is to get there.
Work in progress.
We're getting them in there more often.
Right, to get more content to you guys, and it's a different because it's a live reaction. After the match is some highs, some lows, but it's a good therapy session. Either way, it's good just to talk, among the fan base and get our thoughts. A lot of people know ball out there, and it's good to hear from all kinds of voices. But
just maybe don't let your kids listen to it.
Yeah. This podcast is safe for the little ears. Then After Dark, not so much. What I was talking about on the podcast, which Doyle referenced it as well, was that Ojeda helps make overloads happen, because Ojeda can go. He doesn't play like a traditional 10 where it's like Mauricio, where he's the string puller, he's the maestro, right? Ojeda is setting up transitions, crashing the box. And he's like the goal, the Daggerdan assist against DC. He's almost like a second striker, but then he pulls out wide. If you look at his heat map, he's kind of like center left in that left pocket. That helps Angulo get a little bit space. He plays Angulo in behind. If you look a lot of times, Angulo's making runs off of him, kind of overlapping, so to speak. And then Angulo does a good job of playing him in behind. And then what that does is it pulls everybody leftward, right? Wilder is on the ball a lot, it seems like lately. He's actually really good on the ball. He's got a good range of passing, diagonals, etc., switches of play. And he could play line-breaking passes. He's in busy. That's giving Cesar a little more stability than when he played with Lodero, who Lodero kind of, popped up a lot of places. But what that's allowing is everyone to kind of go left and overload. And then when they overload there, then Facu is finding a bunch of space in behind. He's really good at finding himself in really good spaces. And that's really opened him up a lot. And then Dagger, if you look at him, he's got that right side way open because everyone's just fading left, but in a productive way. And Dagger's in the box. Dagger got a shot from about 6 yards, and he was so far in the box, he was on the near post, like left. So they're letting Dagger get in there, and he's good in the box. So it's a good little wrinkle we have, and Ojeda's really the catalyst for that, and that's really helping us a lot in that case. Right now, in the last 4 matches, Ojeda has 2 goals, 2 assists. Facu has 3 goals, 3 assists. I mean, if that was you extrapolate that throughout the season, that's some big numbers. Obviously, that's not necessarily how it works, but it's a positive trend. And before we know it, Facu's going to be on double-digit goals. So it's exciting. So real quick though, let me ask you guys this before you do stock up, stock down. Two starting spots kind of up in the air or potentially can change. We got Duncan's already in the Olympics. Do we continue with Enrique up top, or do we go with Moriel up top? Alex, you.
I kind of brought this up a little bit. I still like Enrique. I like Enrique as the striker. I think he's had a great resurgence since he came back. I think he's worked well with Ojeda, Angulo, and Facu. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that we might see a variance of this against Nashville or NYCFC because of the rest in the midweek of it all. But I want to see this lineup for the foreseeable future, especially if Duncan's gone to the Olympics until after Leagues Cup, and even if he transfers out.
Okay. All right. Good point. Mike, how about you?
So first, just to follow up on Alex's thought there, I'm a firm believer that Duncan's gone. I think that post Olympics, he's probably going to be sold, and we might not see him in purple again. I'd love to be wrong about that because everyone knows I'm a big fan of Duncan, and I like his style of play, and I'd love to see him stay around. I just feel like, especially if he has a good performance, and say the U.S. makes like, especially if the U.S. makes like a medal game in the Olympics, like Duncan's the only striker on that team. He's likely going to be playing a contributing factor as to why. He already scored a goal in a warm up, so he's in good form, already getting started over there. So I think that he might be gone, but I think that it's situational. It's going to depend on what the game calls for, and I think especially with the amount of absences that there was with New England, it was the right call to start Enrique over Muriel. And the big difference between the two strikers is Ramiro is much more like Duncan in the fact that he's got the pace to get in behind and break the defenders, whereas Muriel is going to be a lot more of calm down the game, take your time, find your moment, take your shot. And I think this is one of those games that called for Enrique, and a lot of the games might end up calling for Enrique more than Muriel to start, but Muriel showed in this game he can be an impact off the bench too, picking up an assist. So, I mean, I'm not really too worried about the situation at this point. But I think that, for this instance, that Ramiro was the right call, but I can also see a potential in, maybe against, Nashville coming up. Could end up seeing that maybe Muriel makes more sense there because they're a team that's harder to break down at the back.
Gotcha. So teams that are going to sit back a little more, you'd rather have or some they're going to sit back. We need to break them down. Then Muriel, if you need to get him behind Enrique. And also too, I don't like the idea of them playing together because I think the balance is right now. And off the bench, I like having a Muriel or Enrique. No offense to Jack Lynn, but those guys are better. I'd rather have them be coming off the bench, not going right to Jack that soon. Not that he can't contribute, but if we could get 60 from either one, and then 30 from the other, and then bring Jack on too, then I think that's ideal. So right now I'm sticking with Enrique. You got to reward people and they're giving form. And Muriel, I'm sure he's a good dude. He's not starting. I'm sure he wants to, but he's got $4 million to help him feel okay about that.
Do you think there's ever a world where they coexist?
I don't know if it's necessary right now. I don't. Angulo has been good, and we Enrique is the closest like for like in regards to pace, and Angulo has been good, and Ojeda being the 10 would fit if they play together. Then that's kind of taking Ojeda's space and clogging things up in late game situations. Then yes, but I wouldn't start with that. I said it last year. Oscar should focus on a 4-2-3-1, a double pivot. I said it all year, and then they finally did it. That was the key to turning things around. That double pivot going, a double pivot's popping again, and I think we just need to stick to that 4-2-3-1, and Ojeda being the 10 is the way to go because Facu needs to be on the right. That's just he's not a 10, no matter what his jersey says. Just not how we don't have a 10 who's going to be making final balls and pulling the strings. It's just not what we have. So you don't just need to play a little differently. We're just playing a little more direct, and that's okay too. And Ojeda's a smart player. He can find the spaces, and so is Facu. You need to use these guys come from countries that play with their brains too, and they play intelligent football. And you give them space and you give them options. They oftentimes pick the right ones. So that's so I think the balance is right now. So I think Enrique for now reward his form, 2 goals in 2 games, And set pieces, he's more of a threat to Muriel too. So I mean, that's 2 goals from 2 set pieces. Sometimes the best way to open up a match is score on a set piece. And credit out to Ojeda on that corner, because Ojeda is trying that Olympico. Olympico's near post shot, and then this one was intentionally far post. He hit it really hard, really far to the far post. That was obviously intentional. And it worked. That looked like almost like a set play, you know.
I was going to say it 100% was, because they must have looked something up with you know, in their pregame scouting of how deep they sit, because I don't know if you obviously noticed it, like it looks like Enrique could have been deemed offsides, but they had someone who was on the goal line on the near post, and like there was just acres of space between where Enrique was. There was nobody around him, and he just was quicker to get in front of the keeper. Like it was definitely something that they had to have checked and scouted beforehand to know the way that they play and where those spaces open up.
Right. And Enrique can leap, man. That guy's got hops. And second, he's small. You could get lost in that whole melee of bodies in there. And both goals, he was unmarked. The last 2 goals and set pieces right. He was point blank on that header off of Freeman. That was near post, right? They probably looked it up. They said it might go near post. We went far post. You know, Freeman dinked it back, and then he was point blank. And this one, Araujo dinked it back from the far post. And Enrique is just, but you need like a yard and quick space. That guy is so athletic, such a good spring, and you know, just that kind of fast twitch. You know, he's a really athletic guy, and then that's what led to that goal. So got to reward that form. And so I think that for sure. And also, real quick, before we get stock down, the defenders. Last year, we went on a crazy run with Rodrigo playing center back. And, you know, he's Rodrigo. There's some moments that are tough. Brekalo is back. He's had a good rest after traveling in Euros. He didn't really play. Do we go back to Brekalo? Do we keep the momentum with Rodrigo? He's been the center back this whole run of form. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that as of right now, as far as Rodrigo goes, I don't think he's doing anything groundbreaking necessarily to prove that he's the guy. Like, you could argue he's liable a little bit for that goal that we conceded, because he definitely lost his man and gave Rioni a free run in. So I wouldn't say that his job is 100% secure, but Brekalo got a couple of minutes back from Slovenia duty in this past game, so I could see Brekalo getting back into the conversation. But I mean, right now, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. You know, we're winning games right now. Until something happens that causes our form to change or to not win games, I don't think you make any kind of changes at the moment.
Alex, what do you think?
I agree with Mike. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only concern I have going into this week is basically you got to manage minutes, because we got a short rest, and this is our last short rest before Leagues Cup. So do it that way you will. I think we'll see both of them. Decent minutes for both.
Okay. And then, all right, guys, stock up, stock down. Mike, who do you got? Who's your stock up? Angulo again?
No, my stock up is something that I don't think we've said on the pod for a little bit here. My stock up's going to Poppy, man.
All right. Yeah, that's
wow. He got it right. Obviously, you know, I've been Switzerland through the entire thing, but I got to give credit where it's due. He got the lineup right. He got the changes right, which is the most important part. I think that Enrique was the right call to start for this game. I think that the sub and bringing on Santos in the second half was a good read on the game and how things were going, where the game state was at and where their weaknesses were and how to exploit them. And then after that, just the changes, you know, he's not necessarily getting he's still keeping things attack minded, you know, like still subbing on a guy like Muriel later in the game, like rather than bringing on an extra center back, you know, or stuff like that. So I think that he's still at the point of, you know, let's continue to try and score goals. Let's keep attackers on the field. And I think that's awesome. And my stock down, I'm going to go ahead, and this is in a joking fashion, I'm going to give my stock down to Robin Janssen. He didn't do anything wrong. It's just it's the first time this season that he got one of his yellow cards, and it wasn't for dissent. I wanted him to make it through the whole season with every yellow card he picked up for being mouthing off to the referee. And he got a yellow card this game, and this is the first. This is his 6th yellow card of the season, and this is the first one that was for something that was an actual action that happened in the game, not him mouthing off. So you get stuck down for me because I wanted you to go the whole way, buddy.
That's funny. All right, I thought we'd been stock up for an actual, actual relevant like to football yellow card, but no. Alex, who do you got? Stock up, stock down.
Stock up is to Facundo, just another great performance. He's coming off of, and at this point, I'm kind of tired of saying it, coming off of the Uruguay rejection and just playing well. They got the 3rd place, whoop-a-dee-doo. I don't know if that'll motivate him or not. That was something I kind of said on Den After Dark, but it was a hip shot. We'll see. I want to see him motivated more. Honestly, I want the hat trick because at this point, a lot of people are joking. We're never going to see a hat trick ever again. I just want to see a hat trick before the 10th year anniversary of our last hat trick, which was September of 2015 in, I don't know if it was New York or New Jersey, because that stuff confuses me because those stadiums go back and forth. But I think it was against the Red Bulls, I think. But
I think he had one against both of them, if I remember.
Yeah, he did.
Both
that
that season, but the last one is what I'm trying to. I'll look it up later.
I think the last one. I think you're right. It was against the Red Bulls. I think
in a loss. I remember, right? I think
we won that game.
No, he got a hat trick in one loss. We smacked the crap out of the Red Bulls, but we lost to like 5-3 to whatever. Yeah, but hey, we're honoring that history. Honor that history with no hat tricks.
I want a hat trick. And Facundo Torres is going to be the one to do it, but I'm scared it's not going to be until next year. I'm happy he's performing well. I wish he would perform well to start the season. That's neither here nor there. I've beaten that horse to death. My stock down is to Rodrigo for just kind of standing there for the goal. Other than that, this was actually a pretty great performance. I hope that we can continue this against better clubs. So,
okay.
Well, its only downside is there's just not many better clubs left on the schedule, so we got to figure it out there as far as beat who's in front of us.
Right.
We got 2 right below us in the playoffs, 2 right above us in the playoff standings. So let's see.
Well, for me, stock down. I'll start with. I don't think I'm gonna say no one. I just not enough for me to say stock down.
Fair.
For anyone in this one, to be honest. I mean, the Rodrigo thing, he could have done better. So could have Dagger Dan, but like the mistakes happen. It's like it was a mistake. It wasn't super egregious. I'm not gonna kill the people for that, But the Dagger's been excellent all season, and right back into his natural position. There's gonna be some give and take when it comes to the defensive side. That's the part you probably take more time to learn. He knows how to attack already. So whatever. Stock up, Facu is definitely worth stock up. I think Angulo's been, I wasn't on last week. Angulo's been less wasteful, exactly like you said, Mike. He's been a threat. I think Ojeda and him really work well together lately, just because Angulo, if you watch it, Ojeda gets the ball and he starts fading left and starts dribbling, and then Angulo's just on his horse down the side, and that's really causing people problems. And he's bringing in some good cutbacks and some good little crosses. For some reason, he's good with that like left-footed dink, cross back. He's fed a lot of people with that goals, with that cross. But also Wilder, I feel like Wilder came back, he's really solidified that midfield. The Wilder beast is back, so I really think that, and I think people should watch Wilder on the ball. I think he's a little bit underrated. A good of a passer, he really is, and how useful he is to really progress the ball for us quickly. He gets a pass under pressure, and then boom, he hits it out to the fullback, to the winger, and it really, really gets us going. And I think when he's not there, we're missing that, because Cesar and Wilder on the ball there's a big gap. Wilder's much better. So yeah, that's my stock up and stock down. But Facu's on 8 goals, 5 assists. I could I mean, with MLS to whatever secondary assist, I mean, he could get 7 or 8, and then I mean 10, 12, 10 goals should be a lock. 12, 13 more. That's not a bad turnout after a bad output after the way he started. So now we got a match. We got two matches this week, fellas. Wednesday against Trashville, Saturday against NYCFC. Revenge. Nashville is away at Nashville. No one has more points away. I think we're second or first in the league for away points this year. Orlando City. So Nashville, we've gotten points there before. Quite, very recent. How do you guys seen this match happening? They got a new coach, Gary Smith. I wish they give him the lifetime contract, but they didn't. Alex, how do you see us? What do you see the result being in that match? Or do you see a result? What do you think is going to happen?
Our last 3 results against them have been 1-0. So I'm not going to change the formula. I'm going to say it's a midweek match. We're trying to rest a little bit. I think it's a Poppy special. I think Orlando goes into Nashville and wins 1-0 goal. And I keep saying it, Moriel. I want a Moriel goal.
Want a Moriel goal. Okay. All right. Mike, what do you got? Poppy special? This is Poppy second home.
No, I really like the rationale there in the fact of the history and how everything has just been 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. I'm going to go a little bit abstract, though. It's going to be 4-1. Blow the brakes off of them. I don't like
put the goal differential into the positive.
Exactly. Blow the brakes off of them. Let's go ahead and get that Facu hat trick, and then we'll add a Muriel goal as well.
I like it. I'm going to jump on with the positivity here. I'm going to say 2-0. Orlando City wins. I'm going to give my boy Enrique another goal. I'm going to give Enrique a goal, and I'm going to give a goal to late sub Jack Lynn. Just going to ricochet off his head and just right in 2-0. So 2-0 Orlando City. Jack Lynn puts the icing on the cake, cherry on the cake, or whatever you want to call it. So 2-0. We shut down Nashville. They can't score against us. It's been like 2 years now they score against us. Then we got NYCFC at home. They at their home, that was rough. It wasn't great. They poor Mason, man. I mean, just 2 people collided, broke their legs. That was insane. I'm still still shook me seeing that replay. That was disgusting. 4-2 last time in the BX. They really kind of dominate that. We got Duncan got a goal late, and Dagger got a goal in there, but then they just kind of, that first half they really kind of tore us up, and then they got an extra one at the end. There was a bit of a bad performance defensively. Cesar had a stinker. We're at home for this one, right? Yep. How do you feel about it in the home form? I mean, we've won 2 at home in a row, right? This is for a while there. What was it? We didn't win at home since. Oh yeah, before that we didn't win at home since like April or March. We got 2 in a row at home. So last year the road form was there. We started turning it around and climbing up the table when the home form started matching the road form. So is this a home dub, Mike?
So this is where we're kind of getting into that point of, we made mention of we have to beat teams that are ahead of us. There's only 4 games that we have left this season against teams that are ahead of us on the table. This is one of them. We lost to them early in the season. This is honestly a chance that they're run of form right now. They drew Chicago away and they lost to Austin in their last 2 games. So 1 point in their last 2. We got 6 in our last 2. We have to go ahead, hopefully get a good result midweek in Nashville. Hopefully maybe they stumble midweek. It's a real big opportunity for us to actually try and leapfrog them on the table.
Are they playing midweek?
I
don't think
yes, they are. They're playing away at Atlanta. So against another team that's also struggling right now in Atlanta. So I feel as though there's an opportunity for us. We just have to take it. And I'm going to be optimistic because right now this team is giving me a chance to believe. And I'm going to go ahead and call in this game, not the Nashville game. In this game, I'm going to go ahead and call a Poppy special 1-0. Go ahead and give me a Moriel goal.
Okay. Wow. Poppy special out there 4-2 slugfest. Last one.
4-1. 4-1.
No, it was 4-2. The dagger and the Duncan.
I thought you were saying my prediction. I predicted.
Oh no.
Against Nashville.
No. I was talking about the in the rematch, the first one. I mean, in the first meetup against NYCFC, 4-2.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's going to be much more tame affair at home. Maybe they can't figure out how to attack on a full size pitch. So.
All right.
Those jokes are never going to die. Yeah, I don't care when they get a big stadium. We're going to keep making them.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Alex, what do you got? You got the look. This is the thing, Alex, about the predictions. Like, I was positive. I said, okay, look, the Revs, their lineup sucks. Mike pointed out their lineup with all these injuries and etc. And I said, bro, we got it. It's 3 points. And then we started off that half, and I was like, someone I mentioned it. This is peak Orlando. When we start winning and all of a sudden we drop a stinker. And that first half looked like it. And I was like, that's what I get for being positive. And right now I'm like, we're going to beat Nashville. 2 goals on the road. And then I'm like thinking, I can't be too positive. It's Orlando. We're bound to just Orlando it at some point. So I don't know what
you got to be conservative with your positivity. I actually agree with Mike.
You are the I would call it the curator of positivity here. So what? I will defer to you on this one, Mike. So Alex. So you're saying you agree with Mike? Poppy special?
Yeah, I think we're going to get 2 Poppy specials in a row. I think this is a 1-0 win at home, and I think it's going to be Facu, not Moriel. It'll be Facu, and I think we go into the League Cup break with a 5-win form. So that's something to dream about. It's something to think about. If we can do that, we can go into the League's Cup with a lot of positivity and maybe have a run at this, especially now that Messi's not going to be a part of the League's Cup. But I don't know. It's part of me wants to dream again. And that's the positivity I'm going to bring today. Because last week, no one predicted wins a couple of us predicted wins. I predicted a win. And we got the win.
Yeah. Okay.
Even against a lower team, but we have 2 matches against, and this was, Mike was talking about it earlier. This is the test. Do we win against upper table sides? And I think we can come back from the 4-2 disappointment and we can get a win. It's not going to be as gutsy of a win as winning 4-2 at home, like NYCFC did on a ballpark, but we can get the points, and it'll still be nice.
Okay. I like it. I'm trying to be positive, so I'm not going to say. I want to say 2-1 win. I'm going to say 1-1 draw, because I just don't see us shutting out NYCFC. I'm going to say 1-1, and I'm going to give the goal to Rodrigo Schlegel. He was close on one. I'm going to give the goal to just a scruffy header, the kind of deflection. I'm going to give it to Rodrigo with the goal. I was going to give it to Wilder outside the box banger. He's due for his outside the box goal. But I'm going to say that for the League Cup when we need it. I'm going to give Wilder, the Wilder Beast over there, as the official president of the Wilder Beast fan club.
And hey, that's the next time we're going to be together. Then is previewing League's Cup action.
Absolutely, yeah, that's coming up there. So I know some fans don't want to go. Some of us are.
I'll be there for the Montreal match.
Okay, yeah, I'm going, but a lot of people, for good reasons, are deciding not to go. So I'm not taking sides on this. People have their valid reasons for it. And
we talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, Montreal Leagues Cup coming up next. But yeah, fellas. So any positivity? Orlando is going to keep streaking over here, like Will Ferrell in like 5 movies in a row. We're going to go streaking to the quad, and this is a crazy run of form. The Poppy in and out stuff is tampered down. My position all year has been he's going to get the year anyway, so it's kind of a bit of a wasted conversation. And frankly, honestly, we're trending to our usual finish, about 5th place. So, which is what we normally do under Oscar.
Back to where we're comfortable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, return to the mean. We were never as bad as we were looked earlier, and hopefully we're better than the mean. What shout outs, anyone? Alex, we'll start with you, man. What do you got for shout outs?
I'll be brief because I took a lot of time last week. Shout out to Greg Berhalter. Bye. Bye. Thanks for what? A Nations League and a Gold Cup, I think.
Yeah.
And bye.
Well, the other Nations League was BJ Callahan, technically.
Exactly. Who will be playing on Wednesday. So
no, I don't think he took the job yet.
He still hasn't taken. He's not taking the wheels yet.
I don't know if they formally announced it yet. Have they?
They formally announced it last week.
Oh, did they? Oh, I don't know if he's with the team yet. So, well, I guess we'll find out.
I get it. It takes a little bit to move your family and get adjusted. So I get that. So we went through that a little bit.
I also just want to go ahead and piggyback off of that and just hope that U.S. Soccer actually like puts their money where their mouth is and actually does have a real search for a coach, because there was quotes from Matt Crocker basically saying, yeah, no, we're going to be ambitious. We're not going to let money stand in the way, and we're going to try and get a world-class proven winning coach. And then
RIP my Jurgen dream.
Immediately the conversation went to, they reached out to Jurgen Klopp denied, and Steve Cherundolo. So
world-class.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
I'm sad that they didn't get Jurgen, but for his mental health and for him personally, I'm happy for him. Jurgen, you did great with Liverpool. You were burned out. You were tired. You were a little tired of the game. You were still passionate. You don't need the U.S. for the next 2 years. Please go enjoy retirement.
Now with this,
you don't need the U.S.
U.S. toxic fan base. Oh boy, yeah. So yeah. What Mike?
I want it for me personally, but for him, you do you. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, you're good. I guess that brings it to my shout out. My shout out is, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick shout out to EA Sports. College football 25 finally released. An 11-year wait between games. I got to go ahead and I downloaded it this afternoon. I got to play my first little game as UCF. Nice. Little Easter egg in the game is, if you're playing a game at night, they sometimes will go ahead and have a SpaceX launch that they show over the stadium, because it's one of the quirks of the thing. I love how individualized they made it. Got the Zombie Nation playing and the crowd chanting UCF Knights. Like, obviously, back in 2014, they probably didn't have half as much of that stuff. I didn't play it as extended as most people did. So just seeing how far the game's come, I'm happy that it's out. I know a lot of us are rejoiced. I know in our fantasy football league chat, we're all freaking out and enjoying it and super excited to play it. I just got to figure out what I'm doing with my dynasty or road to glory or what I'm doing. I'm excited. The last time that they released this game, me and Mal weren't together, and me and Mal hit 10 years in October. So that shows you how long it's been since they released a game.
Wow.
Puts things into perspective. So shout out to EA for finally doing it. And there was, again, this is like the early release of it. There was reports that there's over like 600,000 people waiting and playing online today. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me, because I don't even have the current console, and I have 3 games on the Xbox where I'm like, oh, I'd play those. And you guys are just keep talking in the group chat about, oh, we're going to play this game. I'm like, I haven't played a NCAA or even Madden in 10 plus years. And I think I'm being peer pressured to it.
Yeah, the FOMO's kicking in hard, even for me. I don't have a college football.
My wife's gonna hate me.
Right. Every wife's gonna hate all the husbands during this time. Or on the other side, they might like it and get them away. I've got a lot of people into golf, and the wives and girlfriends either hate me because they're spending all this money and they're practicing their swing in front of the mirror or like standing around a target. Or they're like, I'm glad you got him out of the house. He was being annoying, and I got some free time, and I'm going shopping. So it's going to be one of those two. Your significant other will fall either happy that you got it or not happy. But FOMO's kicking in for me. I grew up a Penn State fan. Well, I picked them out at random, and then when all the scandals happened, I'm like, I'm not from Pennsylvania, so I'm no longer a Penn State fan. I just like the uniforms and the paternal and the way things went, and now I'm just like, well, I'm not from Pennsylvania, and I where I grew up, there wasn't a big college team, El Paso, Texas, UTEP, and UTSA in San Antonio. There wasn't that kind of thing, and I wasn't going to be a Longhorns fan. So I don't really have a college team, and I'm thinking of getting the game just from the FOMO because it looks so good.
Hey man, our significant others are going to end up getting mad, but when we make sure that Wyoming has the #1 recruiting class in the country, like
right, we proud. It'll be so many countless conversations. We tell, honey, look at this. I got 5-star recruits to Wyoming, and they're gonna be like, "Great, honey, what is that? Did you take out the trash?" They're not gonna get
yes.
I'm scared my wife will get involved because she's a big college football fan.
Oh,
so
there you go. So you get Michigan and USF and whatever, right?
But no, Florida State.
Florida State. That's right. Florida State.
She's big Florida State. We're going to Ireland next month.
Oh, okay, ooh, cool. I used to play with like BYU and Air Force and like do like the wishbone offense and triple option. That's what I used to do most of the time, just for fun. That's what I used to always. Those are the teams I used to play with. But are you done, Mike? With your shout out?
Yeah, that's all. You're good.
Okay. My shout out is to Commable. Little story, to Hard Rock Stadium. I thanks to a kind Argentinian gentleman, his brother works for whatever the federation, maybe Carvi Commable, to set up these friendlies. It was Peru, Chile a couple years ago, in say 2018, and they're like, yeah, we'll have tickets at this hotel. Just pick it up there. I go to the hotel. Turns out the guy who attended me at the hotel was our first EMLS player. Or, when we first started getting the EMLS, it just happened to be him. What are the odds, right? And I was like, I know who you are. And he was like, I don't have any tickets for you, though. So I get to the stadium. They're like, what are you talking about? Your name isn't here. I called the person a couple times. They finally pick up. Somehow I got tickets. I missed it. I had to walk across half the stadium. It was annoying. It was a disorganized mess. And then seeing what happened in the Copa final, I mean, with the people getting injured, people paying thousands of dollars, traveling from Texas, from other places, not getting in. The guy who brought in a Shih Tzu, that was the most, I can say this, that was the most Hispanic thing ever, to bring a Shih Tzu. We love Shih Tzus, man. My mom's got one. I mean, they got to be among the most popular dogs in Latin America. Shih Tzus, Pit Bulls, and Chihuahuas are probably the top 3. But they brought in a Shih Tzu. He was running around scared, panicked. I was more worried about the Shih Tzu being hurt than any of these people. And just what a disaster. I mean, Colombia is going through vents. They're probably trying to hearing the Shakira echo through the vents. And just breaking stuff. It was crazy. And then little Latin American rivalries, I'm Puerto Rican, and there's a lot of elitism sometimes in cultures, and there's a little beef between. I get along with everyone, but a lot of times we get treated like, our Spanish is, mixed, Americanized. We have a more rough, direct way of speaking. So we don't speak like the Queen, and like we're not Europeans and like Argentinians, and we don't speak the proper Queen Spanish like Colombians, and that we're ghetto. And then we see that happen because there's been World Baseball Classics at Hard Rock. There's with Puerto Rico versus Cuba, nothing. Puerto Rico versus Dominican, big rivalries, nothing happened. But look what happens now. So I to use the Argentinian phrase, "Yo no lo creo," or the Colombians, they're over there, "Que pecado," what a disaster. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing as a Latino, to be honest. It was embarrassing to see that happening. Yeah, I'm not Colombian or Argentinian, so I don't know, it's my people, but they just branched us all together, and that was terrible. Terrible show. I know that match meant a lot, but there was failures all across the board. But mostly, whether there was security, enough security or protocol. First of all, I don't think that I see why they put that game in Miami, but they should have known how it was going to be. River playing Boca and these places, and the derbies in Cartagena and Cali, they barely have opposing fans. Sometimes they don't because it's so violent, right? So they should have been a little prepared. Maybe not have it in Miami, maybe have it in like Kansas City or Chicago or something, or even Atlanta. But no, they wanted to maximize the money, and then you got the excesses, you got the craziness out of it, and I hope they're happy with what the result was. But even then, even if there wasn't protocol security, if everyone just follows instructions, you have a ticket, and just be thoughtful. You didn't spend money on that, and someone else did. It sucks, but it is what it is. You just
that
if it would have been you
at the Super Bowl. I mean,
right.
worst day of my life happened in that stadium. Bears losing to the Colts.
Oh yeah, jeez. I mean, the 49ers lost Super Bowl in the same place, and at the end, Patrick Mahomes retired already. Jeez, I mean, 2 times, enough already.
He's got
I grew up.
now,
I grew
just
2 against, but 2 against my team. I grew up with 49ers winning 5 Super Bowls, never losing, and then 3 in a row. Jeez. But anyways,
I'm sorry, your team has won championships in your lifetime.
Right. Yeah, true. I'll leave it for the 49ers podcast, the Orlando Lions, then 49ers podcast, maybe. I'm just kidding. But, I was just a little shout out to, just disaster. Miami, they'll brag about everybody wants to go. There's a special town. And boy, you guys embarrassed. That has never happened in Orlando and would never happen in Orlando. And we had some running in the stadium. It was running at the wall at the Open Cup. That was an epic moment. You guys are
but it was undercrowded, not overcrowded.
Right, that was just a complete failure. And
I think
there's a bit of Schadenfreude, a little bit, because like I said, I've been told, we're low class people, a little ghetto, and you know what? It's time to look in that mirror there, fellas. And that was pretty ghetto.
I will say, I think it was a meme that you had retweeted that I was dying at on Twitter, and it was the one where it was like Shakira, where she's like, where's my Colombians at?
Yeah, they're los colombianos. They're like, she's out there, los colombianos, where the Colombians, and they're like, aquí, which is here, and they're in the vents. I was dying. I was cracking up, buddy. I will say, me and my other Puerto Rican friend, we were having a good time with our own little chat, making fun of what was going on. So I was just an embarrassment, and it was a look. The tournament was like the Wish.com a Euro. It was just the marketing was bad. The pitches were bad. I know turf.
Awful.
The refereeing was bad. VAR can't draw lines. There were better lines getting into Hard Rock than VAR drew in several matches. And
at least it got Greg fired.
Right. Hey, yeah, Tim Weah. Shout out to Tim Weah for slapping that dude and led to Greg getting fired. It was just a disaster. Alexi Lalas, enough already. I met him at the U.S. Panama game. Nice guy. I asked him straight up, "Is this you do this on purpose? Is it a stick?" And he was like, "Look, it's not a stick. I just say things a certain way sometimes. Doesn't mean I don't mean everything." Well, it kind of sounds like a shtick to me. He was like, I get what you're saying.
That's the definition of a shtick.
That's what I asked. I literally told him that. You guys know I ask inappropriate questions all the time to people I shouldn't. So I was like, kind of sounds like a shtick to me. And he took a picture with me. He was very nice. I sat with him the whole game. It's very nice. It was just randomly in my company's suite I snuck into, and he just happened to be there. And Don Garber came too. That was crazy. But nonetheless, it was just Fox was bad. It was between, I don't know if it was worse, Alexi Law's commentary or some of the outfits from some of the people. I won't be specific. And but just the way it went overall was just poorly done. And there was a trash final. Most of the teams were just playing rugby, kicking the crap out of each other and diving. It was mostly disgusting football. I get there's a lot of passion. It's more personal than, Uruguay versus, Argentina or Colombia versus whatever than it is England playing Slovakia. But at the same time, it was just watching both on the same day. It was just a market difference. Spain would have just completely demolished the entire South America, even Argentina. I know they won the World Cup, but this team was not as good as that one, especially with Messi out. So, and Messi kind of, making MLS look bad, because he looks good in MLS and looks pretty crappy in Copa, to be honest. So that, all right.
League's Cup marketers.
Yeah. Hey, look, I've seen my grandmother had ankles like that and she managed to survive and cook plenty. So, I mean, maybe he'll come back quick. Hashtag edema. You know, all right. But that's all I got, fellas. We got a huge
End
week
it on
coming up.
that, please.
Yeah, we got 2 matches this week. Check the Den After Dark. Both of them. We're dropping some extra content, and then we got League Cup coming up. Good stretch. Hopefully the momentum continues. A winning streak has happened before. Vamos Orlando. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Vamos.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.